I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high.
And what do you think about for young men? For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
Nicki Minaj has gone full-blown MAGA on Twitter, or X, right? And I think it's because she's scared of deportation. She is starting to get worried with this immigration policy because, mind you, she's been in the United States since she was 5 years old, and she's still not a citizen. And pre-COVID, she even talked about how hard it is to get citizenship in this country. You can be a multi-millionaire. You can be a celebrity. And it's still a hard process to get citizenship. It's easier just to renew your green card, right? She has gone so far to turn against her own fan base. She literally, the LGBTQ is like her ride or dies, right? They do all her dirty work for her, right? And she went on to say that trans people are not normal. They're not normal. Which I don't even think that Nicki Minaj really was for the gays anyway, just based on the fact that she is Caribbean. No tea, no shade. But yeah, she's turned on her own fan base. Nicki Minaj is seeing all these people being deported. People are going to their immigration meetings and, they're here legally. They have the paperwork to be here, but they're going to their immigration meetings and being deported. I've seen a man, he was married to a Canadian woman. He also voted for Trump, and she was deported for a charge that she got 20 years ago, a misdemeanor. They are getting people out of here. And she is very nervous. She's also had a charge years ago, and her husband is a habitual offender. He's a sex offender, right? So I think that she's starting to get a little bit worried. So she's trying to build connections with the Trump administration to secure her spot in the United States of America. This may work for her or it may not. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump's old freaky self wanted to sleep with her for that citizenship. But I don't know that this is the right method, considering look how the Trump administration did Marjorie Taylor Greene. They used her up and then threw her to the wolves. So it's you're pandering to this community.
Now, when Nicki Minaj came out and did that whole thing about Christians being persecuted in Nigeria, I knew then that she was positioning herself to be a part of the MAGA movement. Now, I was a Nicki Minaj fan about 15 years ago when she had come out and she was the mixtape queen on everybody's albums. The song Monster that she did with Kanye West before he too went crazy. Or Bottoms Up that she did with Usher. Things like that. Never liked her singles and never got into the beef that she had with Cardi B. Didn't care about any of that. But lately I noticed that she did kind of fall off, and her music career fell not too long before she announced that she was getting married. Now, there is a lot of speculation as to why she is doing what she is doing when it comes to the Barbz administration and why she is suddenly coming out after everything that we have seen in these past 10, 11 months. Why is she coming out to support them in this fashion when her words before, specifically about the VP, seem to be a little bit different? Now, Turning Point USA had this memorial thing in Phoenix, and Nicki Minaj came to speak at that. And notably, a lot of the other Black creators who also were part of Turning Point USA were not invited to this event, but she was. That can probably be chalked up to her status as someone who is super famous, and perhaps someone that they can use to be the face to try to gather more of the Black community. Now that Candace Owens had proven herself to be against Turning Point USA, they don't have a Black face to put in front to try to gather more people of the Black community to cheer on and support their own demise. So Nicki Minaj, someone of her celebrity and fame, can be that. Someone with her influence can probably bring in new people to Turning Point USA, or at least get them indoctrinated into that rhetoric. And boy, girl is ready. The thing is, what's in it for her? I have three possibilities that we'll break down. One that I'm hearing is her husband. Kenneth Petty, which that is the perfect name for his petty ass. Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty got married in 2019. But before that, he had a pretty long rap sheet. He was convicted of attempted SA in 1994. He and the girl that he tried to SA were both 16 years old. So I've been hearing rumors that he himself is a pedo. No, he tried to SA someone when he and that person were both kids. Now, he was convicted of that and got 4 years in prison. When he got out, he needed to register as a level 2 offender. This was in New York. Now, in 2006, he pled guilty to first-degree manslaughter after the unaliving of a man named Lamont Robinson. He got 10 years for that, but he only served 7. I don't know where Nicki Minaj picked this guy up from, but they married in 2019, and they moved to California. Now, in California, he was supposed to register as an offender because he was registered as an offender in New York. He didn't do that. He thought he could get a clean slate by moving across the country. That is not how that worked out. He was arrested in 2020, and he pled guilty in 2021, and was sentenced in 2022 to 1 year of house arrest, as well as 3 years of probation and $55,000 in fines. And I think it is important to note here that that crime was a federal offense, which I'll get back to. Now, he violated his probation when he made a social media video threatening the rapper Offset. In that video was another person with a rap sheet, all of the things in which he was not supposed to be doing. So they gave him an additional 120 days of house arrest. Now, on top of that, Nicki and Petty were sued by the girl that Petty had tried to SA when they were 16. That girl sued them in 2021, saying that they were intimidating her, harassing her, and trying to bribe her with up to $500,000 to sign a pre-written statement recanting her accusations against Petty. Now, in 2022, the suit was dropped against Nicki, but the case is ongoing between this girl and Petty. And just as a side note, Nicki and Petty were also sued and had to pay $500,000 to a security guard in Germany after Nicki and the security guard got into an argument and Petty broke his jaw. Seriously, where did she find this guy? Now, people are saying that she is doing this with the whole MAGA thing because she wants a pardon for her husband, and she wants his record expunged so that he no longer has to register as an offender. The problem is, the current POS of the United States cannot pardon people for state crimes. Petty was convicted of attempted SA and pled guilty to manslaughter in New York. He was charged by New York State. So those crimes are not going away. The only thing that Barbz could do is pardon him of the crime of not registering in California, because that was a federal crime. So if that's not it, then maybe it's something else. People have also brought up that her older brother, Jelani Minaj, is also in trouble. Now, Jelani Minaj was convicted in 2017 for repeatedly essaying his 11-year-old stepdaughter. He assaulted her multiple times a week while her mother was at work for months. Just Barbz' type. Now, this occurred in Long Island, and he was sentenced in 2020 to 25 years to life for this crime. The crime took place in 2015. He was convicted in 2017 and was sentenced to 25 years in 2020. He has since tried over and over again to appeal the conviction, but has been rejected thus far by the judges. Now, one could think that she is doing this to try to get a pardon for her brother, but he's facing the same problems as her husband, because the attack on that 11-year-old girl was done in Long Island. So the state of New York is the one that has prosecuted him. These are state charges, and the state is the one that sent him to jail for 25 years. These aren't federal charges, so Barbz can't do anything about those federal charges. Not in the sense of just pardoning him and being done with it. Now, the third reason why she is doing this may be a little bit more likely. Nicki Minaj, even though she has been here since she was 5 years old, is not a citizen of the United States. She was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and she came here when she was 5 years old to be with her mother, who had a green card and is also not a citizen of the United States. Nicki Minaj is a legal resident with a green card, but I laughed a little bit when she said our president, because she didn't even vote for him. She couldn't. She's not a citizen. So technically, he's not her president. But that's what she's going to say because it sounds really good to the base. But not only that, is I can't help but think that the timing of this is a little interesting. Barbz' rhetoric against immigrants has been getting browner and browner. And after the oh-so-convenient attack in D.C., Barbz has really been honing in on the Black-presenting immigrant community. People like her. There is no better way to make sure that you don't get deported or detained than to suck up to Barbz. And being that she has $1 million for that gold card, positioning herself in that way could also help her fast track her citizenship. But then why not just pay the $1 million for the gold card and be done with it? Well, for one, she's Black, so she has to do a little bit more to get that gold card. But second, cozying up to people who are in Barbz' orbit can help her garner favor to get some backdoor deals going at the state level to help her brother and her husband. trying to influence the federal laws, for example, when it comes to the registry, or having Bone Spurs put pressure on some of those judges that her brother is trying to get to appeal his case, snuggling up to the UN ambassadors, which will get her a lot of openings to other people within the administration, and thus the people who make the laws. Nicki Minaj could have quietly supported Bone Spurs, and I can't say whether what she is saying she actually believes or not. Not my place, I don't care. But what it does seem like is that she has a couple of objectives that she is trying to accomplish by sucking up to Bone Spurs and his administration. And they are more than happy to invite her in because they need a black presenting face to replace Candace Owens.
I know there have been a talk about Nikki probably being MAGA and all of that. And I feel like I didn't believe that because one, she cannot be a MAGA because she's not an American citizen. So I didn't even give that a thought. And until she did that speech, that thing that she did on UN, speaking about how Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. And as a Nigerian, that was a big fat lie. That was a big fat lie, which made me question why she was stoking that fire, that propaganda was like a big ton of like, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not one of those people that whenever all these celebrity do something, they will now say, oh, I never listened to them, I never loved them. I'm not going to lie, as a young child, I probably listened to Nicki Minaj. She's a very beautiful woman and all of that. And I listen to a lot of her music, although I don't really, what I always find disturbing was her lifestyle and the people that she surrounded herself with. Her brother, that's one she cannot really do anything about. That is her brother, is her blood. But that husband of hers, that's when I started like, no, this woman is very questionable. That's when I started. And the way she keeps attacking other black celebrity, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and all of that. I feel like, when I feel like this is just a speculation on my part. Nicki Minaj glory days have passed, and she still wants to relive when she was the best rapper and all of that. And I feel like she can't find a way to be relevant. So this is a way for her to be relevant. See, she cannot be relevant in music industry. So she would rather go into the MAGA movement and be the face of black community, even though a lot of people have been saying that she has never even considered herself to be black. She's a Trinidad and all of that. And a lot of them always say, I'm not black, I'm Trinidad. And you can do that with what you have. So Nicki Minaj I feel like there are a lot of reasons that she's doing what she's doing. And I don't even believe that she's believing what she's saying. She's just playing a character. That's what I'm saying. She's playing a character. There are a lot of plethora of reasons that I feel she's doing what she's doing. But what I'm sure of, she does not believe any word that comes out of her mouth when she is like, best president, you can be a bad guy. All that feel like a character. And also, like some people that feel that MAGA movement, Turning Point USA are trying to use that to get black community on their side. I'm like, are you people reading the room? If Candace Owen cannot bring black people to Turning Point USA, is it Nicki Minaj that? Okay, when it comes to Candace has this, like her or hate her, but at least she has a little bit of conviction about her. When she's speaking, you can, even though she is also a grifter, but there is a little bit of conviction in her tone. But Nicki Minaj is just fake. So, and I also feel like that's why I think we should not pedestalize this celebrity too much, because a lot of people are really hot. Especially people in LGBT community, because I feel like those are the main those are the main base of Nicki Minaj.